Welcome back to Saturday Morning Live. Queen Camilla has paid tribute to past and present servicemen and women on Armed Forces Day today. In a heartfelt message, she described the people who serve as a source of inspiration, reassurance and pride.
And a lovely new photograph of the King in military uniform has been released to mark the occasion too. Meanwhile, this week, Prince Harry opened up about the pain of losing his mother, and, of course, Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, has been in hospital. God bless her.
Well, joining us now in the studio to reflect on what's been a very busy week for the royal family is broadcaster Sarah-Louise Robertson. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good morning.
Right, Sarah. Now, starting with Queen Camilla's message there, just how important is that relationship between monarchy and our servicemen and women?
The two are intertwined. They go hand in hand because the monarch is the boss of the royal services, so they serve in honour of the king, of the monarch. So their relationship is so closely embodied with each other, so one can't really function without the other.
Do you think the Queen Consort did a good job?
I think she did a wonderful job. I was so interested to see how she approached this. And let's not forget, Queen Camilla is the daughter of Major Bruce Shand. He served in the regiment, the Royal Lancers. It's something that's very important to her. She's a military daughter. She's being brought up in military life. She understands it. She understands what other officers' spouses are going through as well, and all serving forces spouses are going through. So she sees all sides of it. And I think she's a great spokesperson to be talking out for the armed forces and speaking up for them on Armed Forces Day, because they really don't get enough help from the government, and a lot more needs to be done.
And, you know, I was just about to admit to a bit of a blonde moment there, because when we were speaking earlier, Emma Webb, about the King's portrait, I thought, oh, wow, haven't they done a really good job at that painting? It's a photograph.
It's a photograph.
It's a photograph.
And also that photograph was taken last November, before, obviously, we knew about King Charles's cancer diagnosis. So he does look very good in it. You know, he looks well. So it was an older photograph.
And it's very regal.
Yes,
It's very regal, yes.
I think it's much better than that red paint, Jonathan Yeo.
Oh, the Jonathan Yeo one. That has grown on me a little bit.
Have you seen it in the flesh?
I haven't yet. But when I'm looking at it, it's starting to sort of grow on me. At first, I was like you. I was like, oh my goodness, what have they done? Because it's kind of like what you would imagine someone like Chairman Mao.
Yes. Yes. I think it's a bit demonic.
Yes, that's what I mean. All that red.
Rebellion had already been at it.
Yes, I think this is what Hugo Bernard's done with this portrait of King Charles is absolutely beautiful, and I think it's a really fitting recognition of the King, and also how important he is to our armed forces, and they serve in honour of him. He is their boss.
Do you think that Camilla sort of stepping up in this way, obviously the situation with the King and the Princess of Wales as well, that this is emphasising actually the need for, you know, not just to focus on the monarch as such, but also for the broader royal family to support the monarch.
Of course.
And to ensure its strength and continuity when things inevitably do happen, because, you know, the king is immortal, and humans do get unwell.
Of course, this is it. Well, again, it's seeing Queen Camilla. She's starting to come into her own now. She's starting to get a little bit more confident. I mean, this is a woman who she didn't want this life. She was happy just being at home with her dog. She always joked about how she just wanted to be a kind of housewife, really, country wife.
Well, we were saying earlier how extraordinary it is to actually hear her speak. I didn't know what her voice sounded like, and I didn't realise. I've met
Queen Camilla. She is the warmest, most engaging lady. She loves a gossip. She has a real twinkle in her eye. I mean, let's not forget what she let slip about President Biden's visit when it was the climate change summit. We won't go into that on air, but you know, she's a very funny, very warm, engaging lady, and she's just incredible for King Charles. She really knows how to handle him, and he can't be without her for more than a minute. He flaps. He gets upset if she's not around. So she's like this safe, trusted pair of hands who brings out, I think, the best in the King. And people just take to her when they meet her. They really do. She takes a genuine interest in people.
Now, what about Prince Harry? So earlier this week, there was the story about the portraits of him and Meghan, and now he's done this interview talking about his mother. And
again.
It's actually the comments that he's been making about. Well, but actually,
I feel like this.
I mean, you know, I'm no lover of Harry, but I think what he's been saying on behalf of this, we're going back to the Armed Forces charity about charity about young people who have been bereaved because their parents have died while serving their country.
Yes, this is Scotty's little soldier. So he met with a widow over in the United States who had to break the news to her 5-year-old son that his father had been killed.
Which is horrible.
Which is horrific. So for once, Harry is actually doing something good with this, I have to say. I'll give him the kudos for that there. But I just feel there's been so much when obviously you made that remark, Darren, because it's almost like Harry talks to the dead more than that child in that film Sixth Sense. You know, he goes on about it such a lot, doesn't he? And I think we've all had a bit of emotional Harry and Diana fatigue, shall we say, the amount of times he talks about her. William doesn't go on about his mother as much. It's like Harry's just sort of taken over.
Well, he's stuck there.
He's stuck there in this thing of grief. And it's ironic, really, because he's talking about how to overcome grief. But he doesn't seem to have moved forward with it.
I don't think anybody should be taking mental health advice from Prince Harry somehow.
But I think his heart in this instance, to give him his dues, his heart was in the right place, and he hugged them, and you know, I think he loves children. Of course, he does. He genuinely does care, and so I think for once his heart was in the right place with this. But it just seems because he's talked about it such a lot, and as you say, he's stuck in this grief cycle.
But I had read though that
it's an obsession.
Yes, well, Prince William and Prince Harry had years ago now had said that they wouldn't keep bringing up Princess Diana in this way because actually invoking that to sort of commercialise the death of Diana. And I'm not saying he's doing that in this very laudable instant, but there's an element of, oh, Harry, no, you know.
I know, it's always on the same subject, and I think we would just like to see him sort of, I don't know, just show that he's moving on from it, really.
Do you just very quickly, do you get a sense that he's almost moving back into his old royal role in a way?
Well, this is very interesting because obviously with what's going on with the royals, with King Charles, with cancer, with Princess Catherine, the Princess of Wales also having cancer, and then we've seen what's happened with the Princess Royal being in hospital, this idea of a slimmed-down monarchy. Now, I know a lot of people would have issues with Harry coming back, but what is sad, is that Harry walked away from his royal duties, and we could have really done with him right now, being a working member of the royal family, standing up. He should have been talking on behalf of the armed forces for his father had he stayed and this whole mess hadn't happened with Meghan and then running away. I mean, he's given up all of that duty for what? He's turned his back on all of that honour.
I expect he must regret it.
For some baubles from Hollywood.
And especially now
he didn't get the baubles.
He didn't even get the baubles.
The royal family gets smaller and smaller. Anyway, Sarah, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you very much for that insight. I know we could have gone on and on and on. Right.